Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Myself, Lyrical, so is my buddy Rhyme Dota. He's going to be tuning in and joining me throughout this wild, wonderful world of NA, SA, and eventually CN Dota. Rhyme, how you doing, man? You having yourself a good old day as we get ready to hop into this draft?
I'm probably reaching the end of my day, but as I am becoming more and more sleepy. But
10
there's a
seconds
video game
remaining.
to talk about, so I
Yeah,
should probably do that.
5
most
So
seconds
definitely.
remaining.
just check we are still doing TBE versus complexity. I am
Oh
in the
yeah,
right game.
Reserve
yeah.
Okay.
charge.
Sorry, I should have told you that a little bit earlier, but yeah, we're going to be taking a look at Game Two of the Big Egos versus Complexity. We're already into the draft. Lone Druid first pick overall, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no. Yeah, Lone Druid first pick overall. They let it through, and I don't know. Thoughts on this? Is this hero just still as ridiculous as he's always been?
Yep, Lone Druid is just strong. He's ridiculously good late game. He's good at pushing. He's very strong in lane. He's You can leave him safe lane versus quite a lot of relatively strong offlaners without much consequence. He's also just he's very flexible in laning. He's good at pushing, good at team fighting, and he's very difficult to focus if you don't have things like Lifestealer, which was first banned.
Yeah, quite
So
quite a good answer.
Complexity's turn to pick.
But I'm looking at it too though, and seeing that they run back afterwards to the Undying on Complexity. Which also feels like it's sort of an interesting look at it because this means that it's either going to be like a core
10
Undying,
seconds
a core
remaining.
Warlock, or a core Rubik.
5
I could
seconds
see them
remaining.
doing
Oh my God,
Dire
what is
team
this going to
pick.
be? So
mid Warlock, Necro Aggro tried, Lone Druid safe lane.
yeah, I
Um,
guess. So who
I mean, I don't want
farms
to
there then in the top?
Necro.
Okay,
10 seconds remaining.
So
interesting.
Timbersaw into Rubik like Necro. That's interesting. They assume his lane is going to go fine, and that he's going to be difficult to kill. But he's fairly effective at killing Necro, so obviously Necro's Ghost Shroud doesn't really save him from the Timbersaw. But well, I just think Necro's a pretty good pick versus the rest of their lineup, though.
Well, it is interesting to me taking a look at this because you've got like a very early game centric draft, and whereas in the last one it felt like there was that fallback mechanism of the Alchemist. Do you believe that you sort of function the same way with the Lone Druid? Like Moo's going to be playing this. You've got 747 that is playing the Lone Druid. Like, can they just rely upon him to carry the game for them?
Yeah, I think Lone Druid can be. Yeah, so mid Lone Druid, Cole, like Moo's just going to be going safe lane, and it's going to be an aggro try, or just Monkey's playing offlane, probably helped out by one or two of C3 or Melons, but probably not both.
Okay.
But yeah, you can rely on Lone Druid. You can just He's just a strong carry hero that you can fight with relatively early. He comes online fairly quickly. At level 15 is probably when he hits his main power spike. But he's just convenient to fight with. So, but he's not like the be all and end all like alchemists and nagas that just kind of get out of control by themselves. He kind of does need a bit of team interaction.
Oh, they've caught the clink. It's kind of rough. Now you need to skill skeleton walk, although maybe a little bit late already. That shadow
30
word mixed
seconds
together
to
with the
go.
decay might be enough to bring him low. Looks like he can just salve back up afterwards. So Binks getting very close to the Undying, although looks like they won't run into each other, and well, they dodged that one.
Yeah, not dropping their sentry there. I think they could have got that if Melons was very quick about that, but not quite going to be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's just Moo's going to be given this,
The battle
I
begins.
think, 1v1 bot.
Oh, nice little
So,
pickup there as well, able to steal the bounty rune. You love to see that, and they're able to get away with it. Still, there's a couple of things I'm a little bit concerned about. Like Clinks is not an incredibly tanky hero to deal with in the laning phase. Like how worried do you need to be right now for TBE?
I mean, it's not that bad because he's basically just going to worry, watch his health, and make sure he doesn't get caught out by lift. Because this Trilane isn't necessarily that weak coming out from the Wyvern, but they are kind of dependent on this Arctic burn, so.
Well,
Although Maybe
Z-Freak
straight up kill Z-Freak here.
taking a ton of
He's gonna get away.
damage, right clicks? Yeah, he's going to be able to walk out of there. Shadow Word, keeping him alive. I always feel like Undyne is almost like the granddaddy master of the tri-lane, though, and when he gets those levels up, can just be so hard to deal with.
Yeah, when he gets the decay stacks up, he's going to get Poor Man's Shield, and then when he gets like level 3, that is probably when you need to be very, very careful. Because he just kills people. And the Disable is on the side of Qual because they've got the Lift, which is very, very nice in trying scenarios. They've got the Warlock for sustain. Their lane is just stronger overall. And I think that for Clinks to really contest farm here, he's got to put himself in harm's way.
Right. Well, and you also take a look at the regen wars. There's a couple of tangos on each of the side of LTBE, but they still need to be careful. Drop very low again, and it's going to end up falling. Melons gets the kill. First blood for him. So that's going to help him towards that first item, whatever it is that he wants to go for, and the Fairy Fire to keep him alive. Now also with Fatal Bonds onto these two, they got to be so careful. And then you sort of factor into all this as well in the mid lane. 747's having a good time against Gunnar, and down bottom the Centaur's having a... He's sort of like that lone nice spot for this team. I mean, Moo's having still a decent time against him.
Yeah, and now it turns into the Nightmare 1v1. Like, even with Tranquils, which he's still a long way from, and Shrine usage, it's like Moo can push out this lane with impunity. He can threaten with Death Pulse, he's very hard to deal with. So, this lane should be incredibly one-sided from now on. I think it's the mid lane that... The Timbersaur's probably the one that they need to worry about the most in terms of his farm. And he should be able to do okay in this matchup, but he's probably gonna... No. So, Melons is gonna just completely walk past and ignore that, but... I'm just gonna worry that, like, Timber and Centaur, they both need a lot of farm to do stuff in this game. Timber, like, Bloodstone maybe. Actually, maybe Mana Boots on like level 10 or something before he can really fight. But the Centaur, it's just... Do you want to go for the Hood early, so you can survive? Or do you want to go for the Blink, so you actually have something to fight around? It's just... I think Centaur's game is going to be fairly difficult.
Oh, and they try and time this pretty effectively, but it's not going to end up working. Frempo takes a lot of damage, but not enough to kill him off, obviously. It's going to force him out of lane, and that makes it even the worse for him when he comes back here. So, yeah, maybe the Hood. I like the idea of that, although, again, you talked about it. Timbersaw's already going to need a lot of farm, so maybe you just go for something that fights early, since that's what already compLexity want to do. As the dust is popped up top, they're going to try and go for the chase. Can they get him brought down? Clinks just outside of range. Monkeys continuing the chase. They don't find the kill, though. Now turning to fight. Not going to be able to take him, but they do take down Z-Freak. Much needed, that kill.
Yeah, Clink's getting kills here is... It's going to make up for the lack of farm, but Monkeys is going to fight ZXYC, but... Yeah, they're getting quite a lot out of this lane. Clink's level 4, he's going to get 1 to maybe a healer. So, I think they basically just need to not lose this bot lane really, really hard and they'll be doing fine, but because this is the Nightmare 1v1.
Right. And it's becoming a 2v1 as well, which isn't the best thing in the world for the Centaur. Monkeys dropped very low, but wasn't able to end up dying there. Z-Freak is starting to take back over, and well, he's going to get a lot of experience out of this big wave here. This is going to definitely help push him up. He's sort of been that type of player, I think, for compLexity, just to get a decent amount of farm consistently and be a playmaker.
Yeah, 747 just walked right past the Disruptor and didn't hit him. With Blightstone, Rabbit, he could very easily kill that Disruptor, but he just wasn't looking at his hero, so misses out on a completely free kill. But sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
ZXYC is going to pull into the Wild King camp, so he's going to try and get himself some levels. But Monkeys is not happy about this, no sir.
Well, Arctic Burn there. They do end up getting the Splinter Blast as well. They're bringing over the Clinks. The right clicks the lift. They don't end up stunning, though, and they end up bringing Monkeys back in with that glimpse. ZXYC trying to run him down. He's still so freaking tanky, though, and yeah, they're not going to be able to kill him off. Undyne, very hard to kill.
Yep, he's basically immortal when he starts selling 2-man decays. So 747, he's doing alright. He's got 24 CS. Timber's starting to pull slightly ahead now because, well, reactive armor and being able to nuke out the waves is advantageous for him.
Yeah, keep spamming that. Top lane, though, again, they're they keep on keeping the pressure onto complexity here, and I mean Z-Freak is just gonna ooh, very fire, very close to dying. But the fact that they're keeping 2 in here and not dying, I feel like this is pretty value for complexity as well.
Yeah, just keeping this duel in here is really nice. Like Z-Freak is just kind of getting what he can. He's throwing some Fade Bolts out, just sitting under the tower. He's getting quite a lot. Z-Freak is at level 5 at 6 minutes. He's doing completely fine.
Oh.
I'm sure he's going to make some move, and then Timbersaur's going to fall over eventually. But Mullins, he's level 4 on Warlock. He's doing all right. He's doing okay. But Moo is just he's very farm now. He's sitting top of the table, and he has no intentions to stray from that spot. So just wondering, like, how do they really deal with him? You know,
Yeah.
they just have to kind of catch him with like Centaur and 2 Disruptor ulti, I think, for the most part.
Oh, totally. Up top lane, they end up taking down monkeys again. Nice little pickup there. Again, 1 to 2. They're making it happen. I'm still a little bit concerned though, as the game goes on longer and longer. Like they can find these kills here and there, but TBE need to put something together. Like Z-Freak is eventually, I feel like, just going to go off with a good amount of great spells to steal. You're talking about earlier the Timbersaw is one, and then the other thing is like consistently Necro ultis are just going to make it impossible to deal with.
Yeah, it's just at this point, yeah, Necro ulti is probably going to kill someone definitively, but they don't really have a huge amount of burst damage outside of that Necro ulti. So it's just like Z-Freak. He's probably going to be a main factor here. He's going to outshine monkeys in terms of the XP gatherer of this lane. In fact, I think Z-Freak has probably been far more offlaner than the actual offlaner himself at this point, in terms of farm distribution at least. So 3 position Rubik is proving, well, it's proving fruitful, but it's yet to be seen if it's effective.
Well, 747 come back in. He makes Gunner think twice about trying to dive. Monkeys is going to be pulled in the top lane. They pop the dust, trying to turn now into interview. They're able to find that kill with the Necro ulti. They just got a bit too deep there, and they punish. Not to mention stealing Ice Shards, or Splinter Blast, excuse me. Only level 2, but this is a spell that's pretty great to steal.
Yeah, Moo is just, he does what he wants now. He's very farmed and he's very tanky, so he gets to run at towers. And Clinks, well, Boots working towards Soaring, still not going to get that. He needs to get his level 6 bottom, which he probably will. He's going to gather it off of that melee creep. But Monkey's just going to sit down here and probably get his level, however many doubles he likes, because he doesn't really need to move.
Yeah, hard for them to stop that. Top lane, though, is still where the pressure is coming in. It's crazy to me that they're feeling this hemmed in right now by just Melons and Z-Freak in the area. Like, they don't see a lot of the other, they don't see the Lone Druid necessarily, but they don't feel like they can move out that effectively around the map.
Yeah, it feels like Disruptor is their main kind of disable, or like follow up, but they need the Centaur Blink, they need Timbersaw to be farmed enough to do stuff. Moo needs to be a bit careful, he's taking a lot of damage from that Timber. In fact, Timber's going to get a bit brave here.
Thinking about going for
gonna
it.
get very
There's the
brave.
Chakram going after a Moo. Still has that Ghost Shroud, and look at the heals. It's so hard to deal with, and, well, he actually does have Reaper Scythe up again in 13 seconds. Could think about it. Wow, what
He's
a
gonna try
hero.
to push out this wave, yeah, but he might think about it.
I mean, yeah, he's about to have it in a second if Gunnar isn't careful. Yeah, and he
Nah,
does
he's-
back
he's
out
just
now.
on the threshold.
Like, top lane, there's still this pressure going on. Gunnar's going to play it safe. And instead, they're going to rotate mid. So maybe make a smoke play? They don't have
No
one.
smoke available here, no sir. So they just kind of group up and have a little therapy session around the shrine.
Okay.
Malens is getting closer to his level 6. He's going to look at ZXYC, think about the bounty rune, but might die for his trouble.
Yeah, top lane, trying to take it down. Melons is going to fall, so Stampede, good spell to steal. Meanwhile, around the other side, did end up being able to bring down the kill on the Timbersaw. Just the Chakram stolen and Moo there.
Yep, so Moo is just considerably, he's just getting more and more farm now. So Timbersaw has now fallen to him. It's just, I think at this point, TB, they need to start being able to hit towers, but I think it's going to become that situation, like if you remember, like MLG Columbus, you know, Envy just running around, just killing tier 1 towers, like as whenever he could to try and crawl back some kind of semblance of map control. We're going to be faced with a fairly similar situation if the game keeps going like this. So, Clinks will farm where he can, use Death Dark Pact to kill hard camps, and then try and be that little annoying thing that just hits buildings every now and again. But Melons is getting looked at again. But he has a rock this time.
I don't know if they're really going to be able to do this. Monkeys, oh, just barely able to survive through it for the moment. They missed the chain. Gunner, he's going to end up falling. All of this damage comes out, and a double kill for Melons off the back of just one Fatal Bonds. Life is rough, and they're taking the tier 1 tower in the top lane as well. compLexity are just looking very solid right now.
Yep, Kyle Friedman, he has decided that he's had enough of Timbersaw and Clinks. So Clinks, he thought his lane was going to be salvaged, and then he realizes that all that really awaits him is a rock. So not really that great for him. But if you look at Monkeys, Monkeys has got mana boots. He's happy now. He's been farming bot from. Z-Freak is still, well, he's got Chakram, so he does a lot of damage.
Yeah.
But the rock's been used. They didn't get the tier 1 as a follow-up, but I'm sure they're happy with those 2 kills.
I mean, the other thing to keep in mind here is that you do also have Splinter Blast, which is amazing D-push. It's level 3 now, so you're almost able to one-shot the range creeps. We'll be able to soon. And if we think about this game going a little bit into the later stages, do you think that compLexity have done enough that they're still comfortable sort of taking this game late, or is it something where they need to keep, well, all right, Gunner's going to probably drop here. Oh, very close. With no
He's fed a
Necro.
bunch of those creeps, but they are quite low, so they don't have enough to kill him. Melons is
Oh, he's
he's a
deep.
bit far in.
Yeah, it does have the Fatal Bonds already used. That's a ton of damage, Z-Freak! Oh, man, what a play. He jumps through with the Timber Chain, and the Fade Bolt Entrepreneur is also maybe in some trouble. They might be able to find him. There's the lift up to pull him back in, trying to find that kill, but wasn't quite able to do it. Fade Bolt for the win. Triple for Z-Freak. Just all over him. No mana. 20 HP and 18 mana. Oh, God. That was great.
And playing Rubik in this game looks so fun. Just Timbersaw spells to steal. Monkeys is just... there is no rest for the wicked.
Go buy a TP. It's time to do it. Now he's going to end up dying to the tower, but wowie, wow. That was
So
something
yeah,
pretty.
Z-Freak just decides that everyone needed to die, so... 747 has been left to his own devices. He's going to get this tier 2 top, so he's kind of been left alone here for a really long time. And as a result, we'll probably have a fairly timely Maelstrom. But Z-Freak and Melons and Moo are just all looking towards Binks.
Oh no, and yeah, he's going to end up dropping here as well. Well, maybe. They end up using the Reaper Scythe. Doesn't find the kill with that. Z-Freak is also healed back up slightly. They do manage to take him down with one more of those, but the lift back in from Z-Freak. He does have the Timber Chain. Will not quite hit onto that one, but the Fade Bolt's still there. The Winter's Curse. Moo getting punched in the face. They managed to make it to the shrine, but it doesn't matter. Frempo, he wants to find something, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Oh, no. They're going to find another kill here on top of it as they use the Rod of Atos. There's the Timber Chain forward. They drop the rock. Doesn't connect onto Gunnar, but it looks like they still do have eyes for him. He misses another Timber Chain. Things are feeling a little bit tilted right now.
Yeah, it's 1 by 1 and 2 by 2, and everyone's just kind of walking into the complexity death machine that is Z-Freak. So, Wyvern thought he got the shrine, he hits the shrine, and then Z-Freak kind of shuts down his hopes and dreams. Z-Freak, of course, will be heading back to base with his trusty Timber Chain. So this is a tier 1 tower going down, and then probably moving on. They're probably going to leave the tier 2B for a while, because I don't think they feel confident pushing that at this moment. But smoke coming out from TBE, with sights onto Moo and Swindle Malones.
This would be the play that they need to make. They have to find something here. Moo, does he get the Ghost Shroud out? They get the silence, so is still rather tanky in this, but they will eventually bring him down. And now Monkeys chased as well. They're going to find 2 here. Much needed. My God, it has been a rough one. And, I mean, again, it's like... It feels as if Z-Freak is the engine that makes this complexity lineup work. He's 4-1-7, so been involved in all but one of their kills. And he has a Blink Dagger now as well. He's going to pull back in Frempo. Timber Chain through. Can he steal anything to make it work? Double Edge, almost enough for the kill. Turns it back onto Frempo, and that is going to end up being him dead. But they do find a kill in return. Disruptor was the one that picked it up, though. I don't want to leave that for the Clinks.
Very overeager. I don't think he should really Like, it's not worth it. 630 gold for
Is under attack.
327. I mean, sure, it's like a support for a core, but at this point, those traits aren't actually worth it at this point. So, I'm just... Qual are playing a bit sloppy at this point, but I think they have room to do that.
Yeah. It feels like they were really, you know, that I could imagine very much the complexity team getting hyped up at that moment when Z-Freak goes off, and then sort of allowing themselves a little bit of indulgence with, you know, dives and trying to go for the next epic play. But
Yeah.
still really impressive
they-
performance.
Pretty confident knowing that 747 is just ridiculously farmed in Lone Druid.
Yeah.
He's sitting top of net worth by quite a long way.
All right, another static storm drop down. It looks like they want to try and go in onto this. Oh, hip stomp not even going to be used. It hits onto the bear, but it's not the best. There's going to be everybody dying. 2 down. ZXYC as well to fall. And 3 dead now. I mean, if they want to, it could be high ground.
Yeah, it's going to be high ground. There is Wyvern is dead, Timbersaw is dead. There is no real
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
way for TBE to defend this.
Bottom tower is under attack.
747 will have his
Fortified.
battle cry fortified, but I don't think it will matter too much.
Yeah, they are in a great position. No tombstone for 35, but it doesn't matter. Binks is probably just going to die here. Stealing Kinetic Field, not the best spell in the world. Over here on the left side of the engagement, it looks like they have been able to bring down once. That's Z-Freak dead. Fatal Bonds on 2 of these heroes for the moment. They take down the Winter Wyvern, turning it with the Rock as well. Frempo's starting to go down, as is Interview, but with the Skeleton Walk, he's going to be able to get out of there. Still no barracks down as of yet. But 747 just on a tear. He's back by the tier 4s. He's already taken down 1. And
I mean, someone needs to hit a building eventually, right?
come on, guys. Yeah, they got it. They're on it. They're on the case.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yep, so Moo is going to have his Ags fairly soon after this. 747, well, probably Mjolnir.
Dire's bottom tower.
It's up to Clinks to try and kill this creature, but
Can they do it? Oh my god, again, a 4-person Fatal Bonds. One of them's already down. They do a good bit more damage, dominating 4747. Moo, well, he might end up paying for this one. They got several heroes in the area. He does eventually fall, so they've lost Monkeys as well as Moo. Rubik coming back into the fray, but he's still a ways away. Trevu maybe going to end up dying. Jump forward, Fade Bolt to finish. They get it. Nicely done by Z-Freak.
yeah, 747 just prioritizing very much the Clinks in that fight. Disrupted next to him going, please hit me instead. But 747 will now, just now, decide to take that.
Yeah.
So-
They go back in. They're feeling good. They know they've qualified. Complexity 23 to 11. It hasn't been necessarily the cleanest last couple of minutes, but I mean they made it through the opens, I think, with this performance now. I mean, they're way back into it for TBE.
Wyvern ulti onto Lone Druid twice with his ulti, or the Necrolite, and then Timbersaw kills Monkeys and Z-Freak and Melons without any of them using a spell.
Okay.
Like, items, Centaur's Dreaming the Hood, Clinks is going for a Deso, Hood as well for Timbersaw, but these items are a long way off. Like, Lone Druid has more net worth than the next 2 cores of TB combined. Necro is in a fairly similar situation, not to the same degree, but he's got Ags coming in his stash, so
Oh, this was the hope and dream of TBE. That's interesting. I didn't realize that Splinter Blast worked in split onto smoked heroes as well. Not an interaction you see that often. As Gunner going to be controlled for the moment. They've already taken down Z-Freak. It's a good way to start the fight at the very least, as they try and take down the Disruptor. Tombstone not being focused in the least bit, and Monkey's going to take a little bit of damage from his fence. Enterview takes down Melons as well, so that's 2 gone. Necro's going to get the regen from this one, as Moo has already used his ulti on a ZXYC and trying to man up now against the Clinks. Does still have Ghost Shroud available, which he can pop at any point in time, but it looks like Clinks almost down, just barely off the mark there with that decay. And it looks like
Timber's going to go for Moo here, but I think he's going to give himself over to death.
747 is there. They run, they Atos, decay, right clicks, boom shakalaka. That's another one gone.
Well, Clinks has got his Dragon Lance, and yeah. Oh,
There you
I
go.
want to watch Clinks farming his Mud Golems.
Tower is
Oh.
GG.
Yeah, GG ends up getting called, and it does look like that is going to be it. compLexity, the first team to qualify from the North American region for the regionals, and I don't think anybody is surprised.
No, sir. They are looking very, very dominant.
Okay, well, I think that's going to do it for at least now. We're going to probably hop over into the Veggies games, where I believe they're going to be facing off against the Wheel team. Wheel, Wreck, while whistling, which you taught me before, so
Yes,
thank you
that
very
is correct.
much. Are you thinking that you got another one in you? I know it's getting late over there where you're at.
I don't. I think I would be pushing it. I think I may have to disappear. So
All right, no problem. Well, everybody, be sure to give the wonderful and illustrious Rhyme a follow on Twitter at RhymeDota. Any final words out there? Are you planning on doing any more of the open qualifier coverage at all on your own stream, or you want to plug your own stream just in general?
yeah, I'll probably be qualifying. I'll probably be. I might even play one of the open qualifiers or the European Open qualifier at some point on my own stream at Rhyme underscore, or I might be commentating it as well, and I might do my own little thing of the regionals if I really want to. But I'll see what I do. But Rhyme underscore for Twitch streams,
Go
and
do
that's
it,
about it
everybody.
really.
That's the sellout moment for us. Of course, keep on following the Beyond the Summit channel as well. We're gonna be back in just a little bit with Veggies, where they're gonna face off against Wheel. We'll see you guys in a bit, and thank you again so much for tuning in.